2 months ago, my camera crew and I visited Alicante in Spain to take a look at the most remarkable project to build a 64-foot trimaran. The man behind this project, John Ordovas, had put together a team of highly qualified naval architects and yacht builders to create his dream yacht, and as the project progressed, he decided to create a brand and a product that he could offer to the public. The brand is called Hansteiger. I have to say that the design of the yacht was so extraordinary that I was curious to see what viewers of this channel would have to say. Well, 145,000 views later, and I can tell you that feedback was overwhelmingly favourable, and many people wanted to know more. Mark Morgul asked, how does it develop underwater lift? What kind of keel does it have? Is it a sailboat, right? Quinton White asked, what's the price tag? $50 million? No normal human can buy unless you're Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Whilst Ian Drake was concerned about the practicalities of a black boat and all those windows in the superstructure. Fred Quimby was one of many who asked about the possibility of combining solar power with the Hansteiger X1 and concluded by saying that the yacht reminded him of a Romulan warbird from Star Trek. But for many, including Michael Soul, they saw similarities with Batman's boat and the Nintendo 64 controller.
I'll be asking those very questions to Batman in a few moments, so don't go anywhere just yet. But before I do that, I do want to take a look at what progress has been made on the yacht since my last visit. Today is an important day in the shipyard. They're fitting the floor on top of the hulls. That gives us the opportunity to see what goes on underneath the floor below deck level, and there's a lot happening there. So let's take a look at it, starting from the stern all the way through to the bow.
In the centre hull, these underwater lights are being fitted. There will be 16 of them in total, spaced throughout the yacht, and although they are expensive pieces of equipment costing over €1,000 each, they will add a lot to the luxury feel of the vessel and no doubt greatly enhance the enjoyment for the owner. Moving forward, the battery compartment is located behind a watertight bulkhead, and 24 lithium batteries totaling 50 kilowatts have already been installed, along with the relative switchboards and electric boxes. These batteries can be charged from the shore power or from the generators and can power the hotel load for the yacht for 24 hours under normal operating conditions. Passing through another watertight bulkhead leads us to an area that has been dedicated to a fresh water tank and 2 winches. There are 2 captive winches for the mainsail, and the other is actually a winch used for the retractable keel of the yacht. Finally, forward of this is a far bigger expanse that's actually destined for use as the walk-in wardrobe of the master stateroom, along with a utility and a crew room. Now this may sound surprising, so you'll have to keep following this series of videos through to the final walkthrough to get a full understanding of how this will work. The port and the starboard hulls are a little smaller in size to the central hull. As I looked at them from stern to bow, I found the rudder gear already fitted. Naturally, this will be accessible through a hatch. Moving forward, the Volvo Penta 225 horsepower engines have already been fitted, along with the running gear. And we'll look at an interesting feature in that running gear in a moment. And there's also an 8.6 kilowatt generator. All of this is repeated on both hulls, of course. Forward of this, and another watertight bulkhead, is a fuel tank, so that the yacht has a total capacity of 1,600 litres. And then on the starboard hull, there's a water maker and an air conditioning unit, whereas the port hull is used for a water heater and another air conditioning unit. Further forward still is more water tank capacity. everything on board is spec'd to excess. The Watermaker has a 280 litre an hour capacity that you would normally find on much larger yachts, and it's worth noting that the hotel load runs from the batteries that are charged from the generators, so you don't need the generators to constantly run when the yacht is at sea.
All of that is about to be covered up because now they're fitting the floor on top of the hulls. Obviously the floor is built with hatches in it, so there's always access for the maintenance of all of that equipment. So for a moment I wanted to bring you here underneath the hulls to show you some interesting features that I've found, starting with this. This obviously is a propeller. You already knew it's a propeller, but what you may not have known is it's what's called a controllable pitch propeller. What that means is when the yacht is moving forward, the blades are in this position. But when it's in reverse, the blades actually change their pitch. And then when the yacht is underway, under sail, they can change again so that the yacht has the minimum drag possible under sail. Also underneath the hulls I found this material stored. Now this is important because it's the soundproofing that they use for the engine rooms. It's an important consideration for luxury yachts. As you can see, it's a foam core with 2 layers of lead plating in there, and then afterwards it's finished with another plate of aluminium, so there's not much sound is going to get through that. But I also want to address a question from one of my viewers who asked where the anchor is located on that yacht. Well, it's located over here. The anchor on the Hans Steiger X1 is actually positioned directly below the central hull, which is the same system that's used on many submarines. And then finally, if you follow me around the corner here, this white box here is a custom-made tender storage unit. It's been located here right now in storage, upside down, ready for the moment when it's got to be fitted into the aft section of the central hull.
Once the floor was fitted, the aspect of the interior of the yacht really changed considerably. My cameraman Davide and I filmed this video just a few days after visiting the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show, where we saw some really large yachts. Now of course, it would be ridiculous to say that this 64-foot trimaran seems to be as big as some of the 64-metre yachts we saw in the show, but the main lounge area of the Hans Steiger X1 certainly has nothing to envy when compared with the lounge areas of these larger super yachts. This is a huge floor space for a yacht of this length. And as the yacht starts to take shape, the designers are also producing renderings of what the finished vessel will look like, and it's pretty exciting to see it taking shape. When you enter the yacht and look forward, you will see a stylish open galley on the port side of the lounge area, along with a dining area. And this cosy lounge area to starboard, all beautifully illuminated by the enormous windows that are both in the sides of the superstructure and also overhead. In my opinion, the most spectacular view though will be when you look aft from the lounge. Full height windows will give you the most sensational view of your surroundings, and I'm sure you'll remember from the last episode that this is designed to completely open up so that the Hans Steiger X1 lounge becomes an enormous alfresco beach club. And if you did watch that first episode, you'll know that all of this comes from the desire of John Orderas to build his perfect yacht. So at the end of the day, I spent some time with him to take a look at some of your questions from that first video.
The first set of questions is from Mark Mogul. He's asking, how does it develop underwater lift? Well, the short answer is it doesn't. There is no underwater lift. What kind of keel does it have? It's got a retractable keel, and the draft of the boat goes from 90 centimeters to 2.5 meters. And the final question is it a sailboat? Well, the answer is it's both. The boat's being offered both as a sailboat and also as a motor powerboat. So next question is from Kinton White. He's asking, what's the price tag? $50 million, no normal human can buy unless you're Elon Musk or Bill Gates. Well, the short answer is not $50 million. We have a price range of between 1.9 and 3.4 million euro, depending on the options you choose. There's an option of full carbon fiber. There's different sizes of engine, a sailboat or a motorboat. So that's why there's a price difference. So the next question is from Ian Drake. Seriously, a black boat isn't practical or desirable. The large forward-facing bridge windows will fail in large seas and sink this thing in an hour. Did you say the anchor is in the aft, near the rudders? I also wonder about buoyancy in the bows. Looks like it will be buried. Well, the answer is, of course, a black boat, I agree, is not practical, but it's different and it's all about aesthetics. The windows are very carefully engineered. They've got 2 sheets of glass that are almost bulletproof, and they're obviously independently certified. So I feel very reassured about the strength. And the other question was regarding the anchor, and the anchor is not in the aft, it's in the bow actually, and it has a submarine style anchor that is concealed and drops from the bottom of the boat. The next question is from Fred Kimby. I'll get a solar powered or engine powered version of this boat, not mess with sails. How would you scramble all over the super hot top deck dealing with the sails? Well, the first thing to say is that the boat does come in both a sail version and a power motor boat version. So there is that choice. We actually did look at having the boat run under solar power exclusively. And the issue there is that the amount of surface area of solar panels you need would greatly compromise the design of the boat, and we just did not think it was practical. So that's why we're not going with an electric powered version. With regards to handling the sails, the important point to make is that the boat is going to have captive winches. So everything is going to be automatic, and obviously that makes the handling so much easier.
Some questions are unanswered, I'm sure. I'm equally sure that there'll be more questions arriving after this video is published. Do keep them coming in the comments section below, and follow this series of videos as the Hans Tiger X1 approaches completion.